Everybody wants a pie of the compact electrified crossover segment. Lots of brands are doing it, but Volvo was one of the first ones with the XC40 Recharge. In fact, I drove one nearly 2 years ago. Yes, time does fly. But if you're wondering that I'm with an XC40 again, well, you're wrong. Because this is the EC40. Now you're probably wondering, EC40? You're probably hearing the name for the first time, and so did I. But Volvo has renamed their whole crossover SUV segment. So this is the EC40, which was called the C40 Recharge before. The C40 was the coupe version of the XC40, and this one is literally the same car with a new name for 2025. Welcome everybody then to the 2025 EC40 Recharge. It's basically the electric version of the XC40 and a coupe version. This EC40 does not have an internal combustion engine version. So if you want to buy this crossover, this is the only powertrain you're going to get. So it's completely electrified. It's got a 85 kilowatt per hour battery, about 405 horsepower. It's very stylish, very funky. The front end is the typical Volvo look, which I like a lot. I love that, that cliche dialogue that all car reviewers use, the Thor hammer headlight. I think that still looks very, very good. This has a special dark edition version, so everything is blacked out, and I think it looks very, very cool. But I feel like it's a bit too much of an NPC spec, so on the road it does blend in a bit too much, especially when you spend this kind of money. You would want people to notice this car, but this car is the complete opposite of that. Inside, it's very similar to the XC40, so you have similar cabin space for the front passengers, for the rear passengers. Having said that, because of the sloping coupe roofline on the rear, it does eat into headroom. So I am 5'8" and I am just on the edge of headspace. I think anyone taller than 6 foot would definitely brush their hair on the roof. The styling on the rear is very funky as well, which I like a lot. So you do have a very dominant tail light that is of a C design on the bottom, which I think looks very good. It's got all LED units. You do have sort of this scoops on the top of the rear windshield, which again, it's for aerodynamics, and I think it looks very cool. You do have a mild spoiler as well on the boot, some basic badging, and it's all blacked out because of that dark edition pack that this very car has. You do have some cladding on the bumper, and kind of this is really the only difference compared to the XC40. So if you want a more in-depth review of the whole platform, you might want to check out the review that I made on the XC40 Recharge. You'll get a much more better idea about the whole car. Let's see how this compact SUV drives. I'm now behind the wheel of the 2025 EC40 Recharge. So it's got the exactly same specs as what I did for the XC40 Recharge, which I drove a few years ago. So this has a 82 kilowatts per hour battery, produces about 402 horsepower, can do from 0 to 100 in 4.5-ish seconds. The claimed range is 431 kilometers, and in the summer I did get close to 400, so that's very commendable. In the winters, however, I've been getting about 200 or 210 kilometers, which is very, very low. And normally EVs usually do 60 to 70% of their claim range in the winters. This is doing about 45 to 50%, which is, it's a bit poor, honestly. Having said that, let's see how this crossover drives. So I have it in drive because this does not have a stop start button or anything. So as long as you have the fob in your pocket, you sit in the car, put into drive, and the car just goes. And I think it drives really, really well. This is one of the strong points of this crossover. I think it drives really, really well. The driving position is very good. You sit a bit higher, so even if you have the seat on the lowest setting, you are still sitting higher than maybe an equivalent competitor crossover, which is, I found weird initially, but I found my driving position very soon. The steering feel is very nice. It's a bit of a small steering wheel, so it's very compact and it's very quick, but it does feel very, very nice, and it does have the regenerative braking on. So it's very easy to navigate and maneuver in city driving. Honestly, it's just very, very peppy, and it's very nice to drive, and it is very, very fast. So I can slow down a little bit, and if I floor it, oh man, it picks up speed, and that was 100. I believe it. When Volvo says that this can do 0 to 100 in 4.5, I'll believe that. Honestly, it's very, very quick, and it's so nippy. It's so easy to close gaps in city driving, and you can have a lot of fun in city driving with this car, and it cruises on the highway really well as well. Overall, as I said, the driving dynamics is top notch. The brake pedal feel is not wooden like most other EVs, so it feels very natural. You do have the built-in Google Maps as well. This does have CarPlay as well, but I am using the inbuilt Google Maps, so it tells you all the charges and everything. I think that's amazing. I mean, initially I was very skeptical, but I think it works really well. Overall, equipment wise also, you have covers. You do have a wireless charger. Having said that, at this price point, you do not have 360 cameras, you do not have auto park, you do not have, the sunroof does not open, so it's just a glass roof. I mean, that would be a bit of a deal breaker honestly for me at this price point. But yeah, otherwise it's really not that bad. Space in the back is not too bad. Legroom for passengers. Driving position, I have lots of space. It is nice. It's a very good city runabout, but at this price point you would really want a bit more. The interior quality is top notch. This does not have the Bowers in Wilkins. This has the Harman Kardon. Not complaining, but once you get used to the Bowers in Wilkins, this does feel a bit inferior. It's just very nice to drive. I floor it again. I can never get tired of it. It's just so addictive to floor it at any time. But yes, you do have to be very careful of the range. I left home with 88% battery and my range was showing 310. I've driven about 45 kilometers and my range has dropped to 220. You have to be very careful in the winter, and I hope you have a home charger if you plan to use this vehicle in the winters. Barring that, it's not too bad. Honestly, I can't complain for the driving dynamics. Yes, it does have some flaws, which I've mentioned, like the compromised headroom and the compromised boot space as well. But honestly, driving dynamics, I can't fault it at all. In conclusion then, the 2025 Volvo EC40 Recharge. Honestly, having driven this platform before, I knew that this would be a great crossover to drive, and it hasn't changed. I think in this EC40 trim, it looks also very funky and it stands out on the road. At around $75,000 for this EC40 Recharge top of the line dual motor version, I think it's very expensive, and considering that I am driving this vehicle in very harsh winters, it's really not doing the battery any favor. The range is not acceptable. I mean, just 200 or 210 kilometers is very low. Having said that, it does charge very quick, so that is a very big saving grace. The compromised rear headroom and the compromised boot space is also not doing it any favors. I mean, if I were in the market to buy an electric crossover and it had to be a Volvo, I might just stick to the conventional XC40 Recharge. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. So why do we need to go to extra mile to get something more funky with compromised practicality?